I want to start with a story of famous composer Arnold Schönberg. I don't know if you know him, the guy with the 12-tone music. And he once had a discussion with a young man on art. And during this discussion, the young man made a mistake because he said, "I can prove that." And Schönberg said, "No, one cannot prove anything in art." Then he made a pause and said, and if there's somebody, then it's not you. Again a pause, and if it's you, then not to me. And I'm telling this story because that's how I felt kind of when I started doing qualitative research like 12 years ago. I always felt kind of miserable in front of a client telling about the things I've heard in focus groups or things I observed in ethnographic research and things like that. So not having any numbers with me and things like that. And today, 12 years later, I feel much more comfortable with everything I do. Partly because I'm much more experienced, but also because my work is not about proving something anymore, maybe only to 40% or so. 60% of qualitative research, of our qualitative research, is more about inspiring people, inspiring our clients, inspiring marketing, inspiring creative agencies. I'm Edwin Babic from Firefly Millward Brown. Firefly is the qualitative arm of Millward Brown. And as you probably know, Millward Brown is specialized in brand strategy and creative development. And the typical development process we all know is on the left side, we have some consumer data that can be anything coming from desk research, coming from quant, coming from qual. Then a marketing guy, this madman type of person there, is brainstorming something, or an agency guy, and coming up with an idea for a new product or a new campaign. Then the next person, this is the executive person, signing up, whatever the idea was. Maybe sounds good, maybe not, but let's do some market research based on that. So they conduct some quantitative research, qualitative research. This guy is a qualitative researcher, obviously, showing on a board some of these ideas, or via written concept, or via storyboard, or whatever, movie, mood, film, whatever, you name it. And then we do some research on that, we give some recommendations, and then finally we have, hopefully, good advertising or a good product. And as you can see, this takes a lot of time, a lot of steps in between, and some things probably get lost in the process. And we at Firefly and theater group in Chicago came up with this idea to kind of put all these different processes into one day. And what you can see here is a theater stage. And the idea is that we have consumers, we have marketing people, we have creative agency people, and we have the market researchers in a theater watching the guy on the stage, which is the human stimulus. That's a weird name. But I think it kind of very good explains the whole idea. So just imagine, you don't have a written concept that people have to read and kind of react to it in terms of it's good or not so good and blah, blah. And then you do another focus group and another focus group. And maybe you in between change some wordings or so, or you look at pictures and whatever. It's a very static thing. I don't know how many of you are qualitative researchers or moderators. Please raise your hands. Wow. I didn't expect that. So have you ever experienced this thing that you tell people, okay, this written concept is not something that you would read in a magazine. It's not advertising. And this a storyboard, it's just cartoons. It's not the real thing. But people still react to that as if it was a real thing. You know, it's like, I don't like this word, and I don't like this, and blah, blah. And then you tell, can you give me a wrap-up? Yeah, I like the idea, but I kind of don't like that it's cartoons. Can't it be real people? But the biggest problem I see is that we really cannot kind of immediately change the stimulus and give the stimulus a feedback and ask the stimulus to kind of, can you change your tonality a little bit? Or I like this character, but can I remove the other character? And maybe can I have some more insights about this character here? Can I see some scenes of his life, blah, blah, and things like that? So that was the idea. And I hope you get the idea, kind of. If not, we have something prepared for you later. But why theater? There are some reasons above there. To summarize, I'm not a theater expert, but I was interested in theater when I was 18 years old. And I read some books on theater. And there was something I remember very good. It was a book called Semiotics of Theatre. And in this book, the lady, Erika Fischer-Lichte, it's a very nice book, I think it's a classic. She said that in theater, the interesting thing is that in theater, let's take this. In a movie, or a magazine, advertising, billboard, a chair is usually a chair. You look at it and you think chair. In a theater, the nice thing about theater is that if you put a chair on the stage, people the first thing they think is it's a chair. But then an actor can do some things with his chair to make you believe it's not a chair. It can be a car, or the top of a hill, or another person, or whatever. So that's the first nice thing. We don't have these limitations on stage, actually, because first thing you think, okay, how can they kind of do some campaigns or advertising scenes on a stage? Because they don't have all the means it takes to do it. We have, because we have imagination and we have the actor acting with certain tools. But the other nice thing about theater is, and that's probably a little bit complicated to explain, because it's a double-sided thing. But I like these double-sided things, makes life more interesting. When we go to a theater, we observe a play, but we also kind of play with what we see in our minds. And I mean by this that the strength of theater is actually its limitations of means. Because when we watch a theater, we don't really, not entirely believe what we see. We see somebody dying on stage, and we know this person is not dying. It's happening in front of us. It's an actor standing up, next scene, a curtain comes, and so on. So somewhat we're emotionally kind of driven, we are into a scene, kind of engaged, everything, but not as in movies, you know. In movies, we're totally kind of observed, like immersed in a film. But in theater, there's always a little distance between us and what is happening on stage. And that's very important for this whole idea. Because having this distance makes us kind of interpret what we are seeing and thinking about, oh, how is this person doing it? How is he acting? Thinking about what it makes with ourselves. And this is a very nice epistemological thing that we learn by theater, that it's not enough to only observe the world, it's about interpreting the world. Just like Galilei did with the sun going down. It's not going into the sea. There's something else happening. So this is the nice thing, and also helping us with our tool to give people kind of the chance that they're observing an illusion and it makes them feel something, but at the same time, there's this distance and there's this interpretation. And from this interpretation, we're learning a lot about, is this working? Do they kind of see themselves in a character portrayed? Do they kind of see themselves in a situation, and so on? And then improvisation theater. I love it. I've seen that first time when I was studying. And I don't know how you feel about it, but improvisation theater is always kind of making you a little bit anxious, because you don't know what is going to happen on stage. Also, the actors don't know what is going to happen. Everybody is kind of reacting to the other one. And that is a very nice communal experience, being together in an environment where something is going to happen. Nobody knows where it's going. And again, this is making people creative. This is making people working together, sharing their thoughts, emotions, feelings. So that's why we came up with this theater idea. And this is just a brief process, what we're doing. in this one-day kind of theater workshop. First, we have a discovery briefing. So we talk about, let's say, a certain segment. People tell us about, we invite consumers from a certain segment that tell us about their lives and so on, about their needs, aspirations, and things like that. It can also be we give them like a big idea. Let's say you're not yourself when you're hungry. And we just ask them, give us some situations when you're not yourself when you're hungry, and things like that. And then we have the improv theater sessions, and then people react to these sessions. And as I said in the beginning, people can say, I like this situation, that's totally how I feel about the situation, that's totally my life. Or no, that's not my life at all, I only like these certain elements of a scene, the others not. And then the actors can take these elements and take them to another scene and enrich them with some human truths that comes from the consumers. And then it goes forth and forth. And then we have a spark session talking about what we've seen with the marketeers, agencies, and consumers as well. And build upon these findings, we build brand propositions, we build new products, campaign ideas. So that's enough theory, because we had the idea, why not showing how it works live on stage. And here we have Maya, Thomas, and Uwe, who are going, not to present you how it actually works, but some elements of how it could work, some tools, some skills that they have. So enjoy.
Thank you. Thank you, Uwe. And thank you for applauding already, even though we haven't done anything. That's the magic of theater, as we say. So, first question from our side. We are from Freiwild, Improvisationstheater from Berlin. Who of you has seen improvisational theater so far? Already once, twice in their life. All right.
Percentage.
Who has never seen improvisational theater? Who didn't understand the question?
Could be, could.
Okay, no. So basically, like you already said, we do not know what we are playing. We will find out together with you, right? That's a big responsibility, right? So we're going to warm you up a little bit, just, 20 seconds. Usually we would warm the public up a little longer. And I want you all to raise your hand, your right hand really high, right? And then let it down to the side, and there should be a shoulder. Some of you may have to stretch a little bit. And you turn to that person and you say, it's so good that you are here, okay? Just do it for, and great. And some of you didn't have a right neighbor, so let's use the left hand again, right? Let it sink to the side. Look at that person and say, we couldn't do this without you.
We couldn't do this without you.
All right, so that's a little warm-up, great. And then the next thing we would need from you is we will be asking you questions, right? So I will be asking, for example, give me a number. 3, okay, wow. Oh, so here's quant and here's qual, right? Because it was very quiet here. Yes, let's use a qual question. Where would you like to be on vacation? London, Italy, South Africa. Great. Let's do a few more. What's your favorite color? What's the name of your mother? What's the secret number of your credit card? Okay, so we will take all this input and implement it in our scenes, right? So Edwin said in our workshop session, there would be a room full of producers, the client would be there, the focus group would be there, maybe the executive, the agencies, etc. Now we have a room full of you, which is great, and I'm going to ask you the question, just as an example. You're all doing research all day long. You're all doing marketing or advertising. That was the word I was looking for. All day long. What have you not done? What's a product or what's an area, what's a field that you would love to work for? Design. No, as in what? Design of what? Industrial design. Okay, so we are looking for a product, right? For a very precise product in the whole area of industrial design. What might a product be that would really warm your heart and you would go like, yeah, I want to do marketing for that. I want to go research for that. Air Airplanes.
Airplane.
Yeah, who doesn't? Okay.
The
And here's-
positioning of a captain already with that position.
Yes, exactly. So I'm going to ask my charming assistants
you.
to write down all your great ideas. Why is airplane so passionate? Why does that, trigger something in you? What words come up? Just the general travel, exactly. Speed, yes. Freedom. Clouds or clowns? Clouds, yes, clouds. Okay. Pardon? Nice uniforms. Yes, I like that. What else? Experience. Yes. In what way?
New experience.
It's a new experience. Okay, what else? New cities. The world. Yes, and I heard power. Tell me more.
Power of flying.
Ah, the power of flying. Being able to leave and go. Yes, what else? What's attraction? Women and attraction. That's your first association with flying. Okay, yeah, great. Okay.
Kind of old school, but yeah.
Yeah,
okay.
yeah, sure, certainly. What else? Sensation of travel, yeah. So we are hearing already a lot about emotions, yes?
I
so,
like the isolation thing here.
yeah, write it down. Oh, you don't have a pen?
Yeah, but
Oh,
you
okay,
could
you
do
got
too,
it.
you have
You can
a-
also write
that
down
would be nice.
everything you hear, Edwin. So that's also one thing. There will be more people than just 3 usually in this setting. This is just an illustration. Anything that we didn't capture so far? Technology, yes.
Technology. Okay.
Disconnection, in what way? Yeah, there's this period of time where there's no connection, yes, both technologically and even in other senses. Yeah, what would be a couple of characters that we would deal with when we talk about industrial design of planes? Superman, of course, yeah, he's waiting right around the corner. Who else? Thank you. Engineers, yes. The captain, yes? Business travelers, yes. Okay, I would say, in the interest of time, that's it for right now. So you can see we'll run this session, obviously, for much longer. And then what we'll do is take all these suggestions and play out a couple of very brief scenes, okay? So I'm going to have a look here. Oh, you're smiling. What's your name? Sylvia, can I ask you to come up to the stage with me for just, half a minute or so? Sylvia, what is it that you're doing in your day-to-day life?
Innovations in coffee.
In coffee. All right, very important on the planes, because the coffee is usually horrible. I might want to write that down myself. Yes. Sylvia, we have done a little market research about your private life, and we have found out that you are also a sculpturer. Yes. So here today is your raw material for the sculpture, your clay. You can do with this person whatever you want, and he will stay in this position, okay? So please free the inner artist while I'll explain what we'll do, okay? Bring him into a beautiful position for the first scene. Go.
Doesn't matter what kind.
Whatever's anatomically possible. But I do need him for the next 20 minutes or so.
Do only fold where it's foldable.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Okay, great. So what we will do is show you a couple of very, very tiny aspects and scenes that we've captured from your suggestions. Whenever we clap, we freeze, and that also means a new scene will start that has nothing to do with the scene before, okay?
Like sitting down without a chair, that's great.
Yes.
Yeah, that's cool.
That's
I
it?
do yoga.
Yeah?
Just like he's sipping.
Like
sipping something, yeah. Obviously, from the coffee, yeah, definitely. Are you happy? Great round of applause for Sylvia. Thank you very much. And you can now enjoy the scenes from your chair. Okay, and here we go. Are you still happy there in our first class, sir?
Yeah, I do enjoy that first class coffee of yours.
Oh, yes. We have recently signed a contract with Sylvia from Germany, and they are just making the best coffee ever. Would you care for it?
Coffee, I heard so much about
Yes.
it. Yes.
Yes.
It just... Dear Majesty, I bring to thee the coffee bean. It's at a bush. It's a longer coffee bean bush, so to speak, yes.
How did you get it transported from wherever it grew to my home?
Well, that was a different thing. We normally use ships, but we had an invention that is now ship flying in the plane.
Ah, get this off of me! This is from the devil, isn't it?
Well,
Ships flying in the air.
yeah, the Pope said something different, I know, but
Okay.
the door's locked.
I'm going to make this business traveler really angry.
No.
Because I am paid by this company who creates a plane for business travelers.
Where's my smartphone?
Where everything is horrible so that they know, yeah, let's make this
My
horrible.
tablet.
Yes.
The stewardess walked away with my tablet.
No connection.
She's not so attractive and she walked away with my tablet.
7 hours without smoking, without connection.
Where are my nicotine chewing gums? Just, please. I need a coffee from Sylvia.
Hello.
I'm lucky that you noticed me.
Is that seat still available next to you?
Yeah, I industrially designed it myself.
Oh my God. Can I have a seat next to you? I
Yes, of course. You know.
usually I love the window, but excuse me, can you yes, thank you.
It's economy. We should share the room, right?
Thank you.
Oh, yeah,
I
I
love it how it's so close and
that's-
economy.
Yeah, that's
Oh.
soft-spoken, but also soft-skinned.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I also like how they can get, how they transport twice as many passengers because we're standing up now.
Yeah, this is the idea of Ryan itself.
It makes
yeah.
it so easier to kiss now. I mean, I'm sorry, I'm advancing too
No,
fast.
I'm all about the
here.
kissing part.
So you are Superman?
There's nothing to laugh about.
I was waiting for a hero.
No, that's the reason of the washing machine. It got too hot, so I shrunk. I mean, like.
Come on, show me your powers at least.
Well, it's a shrunk costume. I don't have I tried
You
it
have
with
shrunk powers?
Yeah, I only jump instead of fly.
Ah.
So I can show you the jumping part. It's like up, and away.
Wow.
No, but you see, actually, I don't like to fly anymore. It's too dangerous. I feel the anonymity of flying. If I'm only up there in the sky, they rationalized the telephone booths. I don't have a place to change my clothing anymore.
Oh,
And now up
I
there, I feel even
understand.
more isolated. It's
Yes.
really the hell up there. No peanuts, no tomato juice for Superman. You see, I'm traveling all by my own. And that's
Oh
the
my God, that's so sad. You need more planes.
Yes, I would love to fly in a plane.
Okay, maybe we'll stop here. Thank you very much so far. So, fast forward this process. The scenes have been a little longer to develop a little more, the characters and so on. Is there anything in this medley that you remember that you would like to go deeper with? The kiss!
The kiss.
Of course!
Develop on that.
That's why they all want to go into industrial design, because they want to kiss, yes. Anything else? Or, also, was there something missing, maybe?
Or a word that you particularly remember that that
Yeah,
caught your
it doesn't have to
attention.
be an entire scene, it can be a sentence.
I remember to stay in too narrow space.
The too narrow space?
Too narrow space.
Okay, yeah. So what we will do is we'll jump back into this idea of, economizing the planes, right? Getting people standing up and getting even closer, less space, etc. And we'll jump back into this scene, and the way we'll do it, do we have 2 microphones that I could borrow?
Yeah.
I'm going to need, why don't you pick one as well? I'm going to need 2 more volunteers, but they can sit down, right? And again, remember, this could be the audience of your session. Some people are looking at their smartphones. I'm not going to pick them. I'm going to pick you. This is your mic. Thank you very much. And, do you want them to come up on stage?
I thought so, yeah.
Okay. Would you mind? What's your name?
Hans.
Hans, great. A big round of applause for Hans. Did you pick a lady or?
Of course I do pick a lady. Let me see. Who's looking away now?
If you don't find a lady, take another man. That's okay with
You
me.
have this lovely smile. Please, do stand up.
All right.
And
What's your name?
Matilda
and Hans.
Have a round
Perfect.
of applause for
Thank you very
Matilda.
much.
Please do take a seat to the left.
Okay, so we will be in the same position as before. We will be sitting here, and we will talk about, let's say one of us has designed this plane, okay? Who has designed this plane, me or him? My role, yes. Okay, so this format is called fill in the blanks. So whenever we stop talking, you will continue our sentences, okay? Great, perfect. See, when I designed this plane, I was hoping for
getting closer and really meeting the other passengers.
Getting closer and really meeting the other passengers.
Wow, this is an encounter up in the sky. I really think
that we should kiss now.
that we should kiss now. I made that thought up.
See, this is the ideal outcome of what I had in mind. There's no space down on Earth where we are without connections, right? There's no space where we are so close to strangers. We should always
find opportunities to kiss strangers.
Find opportunities to kiss strangers.
Wow, I think that's
a fantastic idea. Let's do it now.
a fantastic idea. Let's do it now.
And also, when I was sitting there on my computer designing this plane, I
very much focused on the air and the smell in the room.
I very much focused on the air and the smell in the room. Because have you noticed how usual planes smell?
Yeah,
I mean,
they smell like,
toilet.
Toilet.
yes! How would you possibly kiss in an environment that smells like toilets? So smell again. What does this plane smell again? Smell
This
like?
place. Well, you designed it, I guess. So it smells like
A flower, a really great red flower.
a flower, a very great flower. Whatever that means, I just made it up.
Yes, see? And I could have sat down to the guy next row. He would also have wanted to kiss me. Because
I put something in the coffee.
I put something in the coffee.
What? You put something in the coffee? That's why I feel so
Suspicious?
suspicious. That coffee is even better than the normal Sylvia coffee. It had a different taste.
Give me a sip of that coffee, because then maybe I want to kiss you as well.
Well, take a sip.
You know, the next step with developing these planes will be...
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah, let's just... Thank you! Thank you!
Thank you so much.
Okay, I'm going to give this back to Uwe. Okay, so in about 7 minutes, we have had, I personally think, I travel a lot on planes, a wonderful idea about better air, better coffee, I don't know about kissing strangers. Maybe I'll get there when we're there. But that's the idea, right, of drawing from the unchained creativity in the room. People will get more loose about what they think. And a lot of it will be, it was a good laugh, but it's not what we want to pursue. But you will talk to that about it, right, in a minute. We're just going to come to the end. Let's say we have found, together with you, a couple of propositions for slogans or for main ideas, right? You all know what I'm talking about. And then we can also put this, we have Uwe with us, our musician. We can also put this idea into a song. So who has already an idea for this plane, how to market it? Just out of your stomach right now. It doesn't have to be brilliant. We're in the exploration phase. Yeah, okay, can you put this into a slogan? Somebody else? Yeah. Yeah, go ahead. Best plain, best coffee. Okay, and we do take up the idea
Best
of...
plain, best coffee is
best
something you
plain-
want to talk about, or something, I don't know. Maybe the
Well,
talking.
the idea of talking, I
Yeah,
think it was,
yeah.
you know,
That's what I
interesting,
thought.
rather than the anonymous plain. Yeah? The Starbucks.
The Starbucks plane.
Yeah.
Thinking
Since,
big. I like that. I like that. Yeah.
Yeah, so I love the idea, but Starbucks already exists. I don't know how we are with copyright and
Starbucks
so on.
plain,
So, yes, you. Okay, we do whatever we want. Your doors are closed, right? Best plain, best coffee, and the idea is that people start to talk again with each other. Thank you very much.
It's early in the morning and I have to get up. I am the captain of that plane. Feeling drowsy, kind of woozy, but I know with my Sylvia coffee I get the job done.
I'm boarding this plane like every Tuesday. But today I'm looking forward to talking to everybody. It gives me so much more ideas. It gives me so much more to talk about. And maybe I will even knock on the door of the pilot today. And we just chat the hours away.
We just chat the hours away. We just chat the hours away. We just chat the hours away. Talk about the clouds.
The clouds for connection are right here.
Clouds for connection are right here.
You can feel like in a Starbucks with us. Come fly with us.
Starbucks on this plane.
Best plane, best coffee. Best
Together.
plane, best coffee.
Captain and passenger in the
All
cabin.
talking.
Having a good chat while the plane is starting.
And finally, time to talk.
Wow, it's great to have you in the cabin.
Time to talk.
Oh, we have time to talk.
Time to talk.
Time to talk. Now back then, when they only had beautiful stewardess, by now they have beautiful passengers. And I love to talk to you.
I'd love to talk to you too.
Cheers to that one.
Cheers.
Oops.
Thank you very much. So, over to Edwin, and we'll stay here in case there's
Thank you
questions.
so much. Maya and Thomas and Uwe from Freiwild. Based in Berlin.
Uwe.
I don't think I have to mention it. I mean, I don't know how you feel, but my heart is pumping and I feel the creative juices flowing through my veins and so on. So the very important function of this tool in a theater setting is stimulation. What else? So I feel stimulated. You probably feel stimulated. We only had like 15 minutes, 20 minutes by now. So this is going to take longer. Maybe more focused, maybe more open, whatever. We decide in the beginning, in the briefing with the client. And it adds kind of magic and thrill to all these workshops we're usually doing. I mean, this is not only about talking to people, discussing something and so on, and maybe doing some work together. It's about Hans came on stage and acted with the actors. We're interacting, we're kind of responding to it, and yeah, that's an important thing for me. We kind of really team up with the actors. We team up with marketing agency and so on. And I really think that we come up with some results we wouldn't usually come up with. I mean, from my point of view, in 5 minutes or so, we came up with a new idea for Ryanair, maybe, or a coffee brand, whatever. So thank you so much. This is just a summary of what this tool works best for. As I already said, for understanding key segments, so understanding consumer segments, also for brand communications, for line extensions, and big idea development. Usually we have different creative territories, we try out different things, then we see what kind of creative territory works best and how it could work best. And then we can bring things forth to even having a kind of advertising idea and so forth. But most importantly, a better understanding on all these little nuggets that really work best for a certain consumer segment.